Today, as we continue on with our soil amendment series, we're going to be talking about alfalfa meal and the who, what, when, where, why, and how it can be used in your garden. Let's get started. When looking at soil amendments, there are generally two main things that you focus on. The first is going to be the short-term goal, what the amendment can do to help you out. The second is going to be the long-term benefits that it can potentially have. With alfalfa meal, the short-term benefit is, as the material slowly breaks down, it's going to release various nutrients into the soil and become available to the plants. The long-term benefit of this, as it breaks down, is it's going to not only add organic matter to the soil, but it serves as a soil conditioner to improve the soil profile. Now that we've quickly gone over the benefits that alfalfa meal can have, let's go ahead and take a look at a brief history of how it came to be. It is believed that alfalfa was first cultivated in Iran between 6,000 and 10,000 years ago. Gradually, as horse transport became much more important within the society, it traveled across Anatolia and also into the southern Mediterranean, where it was heavily cultivated. Finally, alfalfa was introduced into the Americas as the Spanish conquistadors traveled to North and South America in the early 1600s. The reason why alfalfa became such an important crop in the feed is because it has a very high protein count as well as other trace minerals, making it very important for large powerful war horses needing high energy that other grasses such as orchard or tooth grass or other native grasses just didn't provide. The plant itself has a significant amount of chlorophyll, making it high in nitrogen. Aside from that, it also has a large amount of calcium, potassium, and trace minerals, making it an ideal switch from animal feed to a soil amendment. The NPK of alfalfa stands on average of 3% nitrogen, 1% phosphorus, and 2% potassium, alongside other various trace minerals not listed. However, as usual, these are just averages and can change based on the soils and the environment in which the alfalfa is grown. Aside from the nutrient formulation that is very beneficial for soils, as previously mentioned, it is also high in organic matter being a grass, and it can break down very quickly, making it an organic matter particulate that is quickly available to the soil, also helping to add as a soil conditioner. How the alfalfa plant is transformed into alfalfa meal is you take the crop, cutting it into a hay and drying it out. And then you take that hay, milling it into smaller particles, making it much easier to break down. This dry material, though, is not the only way that this is used as a soil amendment. Quite often this material is grown as it has great soil erosion benefits. The root system itself, in the right climates and situations, can grow up to 15 meters deep, helping to really hold the soil structure together. After a period of time that this plant is grown, with the roots still intact, the green material is then plowed under, serving as a green manure. Perhaps the most beneficial part of this plant is that it is a member of the legume family, meaning that it goes through a process called nitrogen fixation. It takes nitrogen gas out of the air, and through a symbiosis with bacteria that is in the soil and part of the root nodulars, it is able to fix nitrogen nutrients into the soil, making it available not only to itself, but also other plants around it. And this is all achieved without having to add the mycorrhizae fungi. However, by adding this, it only helps to accentuate the potential benefits of this plant. The alfalfa plant has not just been important in the early periods of time of human history. Currently, as of 2018, there are over 74 million acres of alfalfa cultivated worldwide, with 41% of it coming from the North American continent. Who knew when the conquistadors brought it over that it would find its most productive area in the New World? Because alfalfa is so readily grown throughout the world, commercially speaking, it's one of the easiest soil amendments to obtain. You're most likely to find the product, though, however, if you live in North America, South America, or Europe, as these are the main growing regions of this crop. As of fall 2018, you can expect to pay about $15 per 5-pound bag of alfalfa meal. Even though this product is so readily available, it is a little bit more expensive just due to the time and cost that it takes to milling the product. However, this is a much more expensive way of acquiring this product because it's already been transformed into the alfalfa meal. The first method to obtain it a little bit cheaper is to go down to your local feed or farm store and purchase it in a form called alfalfa pellets. This is the alfalfa material that's been compressed into a pellet. It's primarily used as animal feed, however it works just as well as a soil amendment. You can expect to pay around $25 or less for a 50-pound bag. The slightly cheaper method to obtain this is to simply purchase alfalfa hay. In my neck of the woods, you can expect to pay approximately $190 per ton of material. This is a much cheaper and cost-effective way of doing it. However, keep in mind that in purchasing it as hay, it will take slightly longer for material to break down in the soil, and you will have to do a little bit of working yourself. However, in comparing the cost and to what it would take to break it down, this is a much more financially feasible option, and the route that I would suggest you go with. In whatever form you've obtained it, whether it's alfalfa hay, pellet, or mill, your application rate is pretty much going to be the same. I would suggest applying it between 25 and 50 pounds per 1,000 square feet. You can, of course, go a little bit heavier or a little bit lighter in your application rate depending on how much material you have, how expensive it is for you, or just how good or bad your soil is. As previously talked about, there are multiple ways in how you can apply this to your surroundings. If you're going to be dealing with large acreage, then I would suggest, for the most cost-effective, to use it in a green manure form. For your medium to moderate sized tracts of land or greenhouses, I would suggest doing it in either the hay or the pellet form. If you're just using it in a small container garden form, then I would suggest just going with the small 5-pound bag. Even though per ounce it's going to be a little bit more expensive, you're not going to be using that much material, and so it just makes more sense in going with the size of material that you need based on your requirements. If you're wondering if alfalfa meal is especially beneficial towards particular plants, then I would say that it is probably one of the better all-around general fertilizers, and it doesn't specialize in any particular crop. With it being relatively well balanced, not only in the nitrogen, but has high amounts of potassium and calcium, it works well towards fruiting crops such as vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, within that family that generally utilizes a large amount of calcium. The plant that I've noticed that benefits the most, though, is roses. It just absolutely allows those blossoms to flourish and become very vibrant colors. With it being a slow-release, nutrient-based product, it does take time for this to become available. So if you need it immediately, I would suggest to apply it in the fall when it has time to compost over the winter. Early spring works just as well, however, keep in mind that it will take some time for the nutrients to become available for the plants to utilize. As far as soil amendments go, this is perhaps one of the most environmentally friendly soil amendments you could utilize in your garden. This product grows very quickly and so is very sustainable without any concern of it not being available in the future. Aside from the sustainability aspect, with it adding organic matter into the soil, it being a soil conditioner to help improve the soil profile, and also it being member of the legume family, so it has nitrogen fixation. Overall, this is one of my personal favorite soil amendments to use, with all those reasons previously mentioned. Now that you know one of my favorite personal soil amendments, what's yours? Let us know in the comment section below. Once again, thank you for joining us on this video while we take a cursory glance at alfalfa meal and how beneficial it can be for our gardens. Please join us next time as we continue our series on soil amendments. And now, here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode of Yule Acres is brought to you by Yule Acres Grapefruit Naturally Scented Lip Balm. For more information about this product, click on the link in the description below.